Shad, I have another weapon for you.
Yeah, another weapon.
Yes.
I don't know. We've seen a lot of weapons, Tyranth. It needs to be a pretty amazing weapon to really impress me this time.
Stick. Monkey stick.
Oh my gosh, it's a stick!
Yes. I know
I
you
love
like
sticks.
Yeah, you do.
So, this is...
Ryu Jingubang. That's the name of it.
That's the...
That's the name of it. This is the monkey stick from Black Myth Wukong.
Oh, technically it's from Journey to the West, the original, what it's based on.
Yes.
But this is their... Your
But the title's going to say Black Myth Wukong, Shad, so it's from Black Myth Wukong.
which is based on Journey to the West. But this is a replica of the game interpretation of their weapon, is it? Or
Close enough. Close enough. I wanted it to be a little bit thicker, like the one in the game has really thick flared tips, but I didn't have enough time to get all the parts and stuff,
Yeah.
so I got as close as I could. It's also supposed to be a little bit longer.
This is a very intriguing weapon.
It is.
I mean, people might assume that it's just a stick.
It's just not, it's so much more.
It's so, well, the first thing people might misunderstand is how great sticks are.
They are, yes, very good.
All right. Unironically, though, the
Sticks are
quarterstaff is a deadly weapon. All right, and that's what this is essentially.
Yes, like I said, it's supposed to be a little bit longer, so we can give it that. But what's interesting about this is, first off, the first thing you notice is the balance. The balance on this is, it's so nice, it's hard to explain.
Because it's got these weights, these caps, brass.
Close enough. They're metal. Let's just put it that way. I think it's just a coating. This bit's are made of aluminum. This bit's made of something else. Like, do you want to take the time to explain it, or just go
mysterious metal?
It's Chinesium. There,
Chinesium. That is the right terms, right? Okay. Because it has them on the end, right? That puts extra weight on the end, which encourages just this. In fact, I might need to spin this.
I'll hold your sword.
Thank you.
Because it's a nice sword.
This is a very nice sword. But this encourages you to just want to, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous.
It is very. There are some caveats here. Like we said, some people are going to already comment. It's a little short, yes. I had to make it proportional to the ends. On top of that, like I said before, the ends are supposed to be a little bit thicker. So there's those caveats going into this. Now, if you want to check out how I made this and my testing of it, you can down below. There'll be links to my channel Screen Tested where I make and test these sorts of things. And Shad's enjoying this one because it's stick.
It just wants to spin, like the momentum carries it, keeps it going. And so you just, when it starts, it just wants to keep going and going and going. Look at this. This is very nice.
Something I should mention, I think that this is right on the limit of weight though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Any heavier, and I think it would start to become a bit too much of a detriment. Yeah.
And so, we mentioned that it's a stick, right? The thing is though, with these weights on either end, it's upgraded stick.
Yes, a better stick.
It is like now 2 clubs. Because a club is a stick that is optimized for weight and damage. How's your
I didn't tie my fur on tape. It's cold, all right? It's cold. Continue, Shad.
Well, I have a video talking about, were sticks like, it's a bit older, but it's there, like, were they battlefield weapons? And yes, they were. We have medieval art showing you just grabbing a club-like stick, and in some cases, it is a better pick than a sword, specifically against people in armor. And that's what we see. We see in medieval art people using sticks, a club-like stick, with swords on their hips because they're fighting someone in armor. And so this type of weapon should not be underestimated with how serious it can be, especially with these weights on them now.
Yes, there's something we should mention about the weights as well. In the game, they have far more protrusions, right?
Yeah.
I think this one is a little bit better because it means you can actually grip onto on the end.
You can slide it down and
get that extra reach while at the same time still having those force multipliers there. So this design, while not 100% accurate, I think the way I would describe this is an actual weapon.
Yeah.
This is an actual weapon that you could use. This is not fantasy. This is not crazy. I think this is well balanced. In terms
of the attachments you've added, there are 3, I guess, things that really enhance the power of this thing. One, just the range It's not just a single weight here. You've got a wider area of extra weight, which means striking anyone along this place, gonna hurt like anything. But then you have these flared tip sections right here. Do you see there? And so that means like it's not hard to always make sure you hit, because like, yeah, if you hit like that, but as soon as you angle it, any kind of strike that's coming in, that part is going to be the contact.
The disc part, yes.
The disc part. And that concentrates that force quite nicely. And then you have these tips.
Now,
they're not spear tips.
The original doesn't have tips, it's just a flat top. This one, that's a feature of this
This
design.
is a feature because, granted, they're not spear tips, but that concentrates that force that will assist in cracking bones, dinting armor, transferring force.
And last feature you haven't mentioned here is, see the contoured shape of that?
Yeah.
Meaning you can thrust and stop right there as a stopper, and it doesn't hurt your hand. That is also a feature.
You are right about this weight, right? Like that is on the edge.
Right on the edge.
Right on the edge, but it's usable. Like if you can control and hold it like that, that's actually, and this is like, when you say right on the edge, I can barely lift it up, but I can lift it up. Well, any heavier, that's too much.
That's what I mean. Right on the edge where the momentum carries it, you have all that in the swing. It also adds the damage, but at the same time, it's not unreasonable at all. You can still move it fast, still nimble. A little bit more than this, and I think it's just too much.
You're right. Oh.
Nice.
Busted out the base of it and everything.
What's interesting is I did get some bounces, because like, if you hit here, you're good. Yeah. If you hit here, you're golden. But sharing that surface area sometimes doesn't provide as much damage as one would think. Do you want another one?
Sure. Yeah, that was a bounce. Oh, yeah! Nice.
Yeah. Like,
look at that.
It's not the same as a spear tip, like we said, but it's just enough to focus that energy beautifully.
Yeah. Nothing fancy, just going for a strike. Ready? Oh! This is an explodey stick.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I said. It's like, it's a better stick.
I like stick enhanced.
Stick premium, stick plus. So one of the ones I like doing, but it's difficult to get the aim right, is the thrust stop. Because this spear in the game and in like the lore and whatever extends.
Yes.
This doesn't extend, but I can try to make it extend a little bit. Get a little bit of slip and slide on there. Disgusting dank water. Gotta love it. There we go, that's much better.
Can I have a go?
Yeah, you can have a go. It's hard to do. But it'll look cool if you do it.
Tyranth says it's hard to do, right?
Stick good. Like, what do you want me to say? Stick good.
No, stick better. This is stick in hand.
Stick premium.
Like I said, it's basically a double-ended club.
Yeah.
And you get the added advantage of reach.
Yep.
Okay. And, you know, is this better than, say, a spear or a polearm? It depends.
I would say no. This is where the caveat is. I think this is a great weapon in general. But comparing this in the same sort of category, polearms, halberds, things like that, I think it's worse.
Unless they're wearing armor. Blunt force, this would actually do more damage through armor than a glaive, even a spear potentially, depending.
Sure, but keep in mind the caveat there is you can get double end spikes, right? You could just easily put this on the back of a spear.
Yeah.
And then you get all the same benefits while still having a big, beautiful
It's a
blade.
good question, because it raises this question, and this is the one that I said is a good one. Is it worth having two?
Yeah.
Because people sort of say, oh, you got a double hit kind of thing. But in actual combat, when using a spear, you rarely use it like that. You usually maximize your range, and as a result, I'm not sure the double-ended thing is a huge
balance though. The
Balance
balance on it is beautiful, and it does allow you to move it a lot more easy. And even if we did use it like not what you're supposed to, but if you used it like a large sword and did some of those sweeping things, that balance also still helps. So that's my views on it, basically.
Let's smash Boromir a bit with this thing.
Let's do it.
See what happens. Okay, so one of the things that I want to measure is blunt force. And there is a test that I've done fairly regularly when testing blunt force, and it's the amount of force it takes to knock over Boromir with a single strike. And I usually have tested it with smaller club-like sticks, in comparison more often to nunchucks, to show the amount of impulse driving force that nunchucks don't actually have. I've never been able to knock down Boromir with the nunchucks. Now this is ramping it up again. And so I want to see how much force to knock over, and I'm going to go, you know, close range hit, not maximizing it, and then I'm going to get further behind, further back, right? But already, like, just this hit right here, bracing, bracing,
We know it's a bow staff, and they're used differently to like a spear or something like that. We know that. The reason why I haven't brought it up is because this is so versatile. You don't have to use it like a bow staff. You can use it so many different ways that I'd say a little bit better.
And honestly, like, there's quarterstaff, you know, fighting styles as well that actually translate somewhat to certain polearm techniques. Dude, I felt that. That would break ribs. And that's not even counting the type of thrust power you would get out of this.
Yes.
And
like we said, with that point,
yeah,
it's like, how to describe this? It's not a spear, it's not a blade, but just because it's focused there, it would hurt so much.
Hurt. And like, I actually think I might penetrate Boromir with it. That would hurt so much.
Try and get one in the chest, because that was his neck.
All right.
And we reinforced his neck.
Man, I am cutting my hands on this a bit.
Where?
Just the red soreness.
So
Gloves would, and I know there's a
no.
a pin.
That's the pain. That's the pain.
I'm feeling it though.
It's the pain.
No.
My hands were pink afterwards. It's the pain.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, now I just want to see kind of versatility. Not a lot of big hits. I want to do like little kind of hits, but also just to see how easy this thing is to move around.
It's such a small thing, but adding those little force multipliers on, it changes the balance, makes it hit so much harder. Have little design cues like this, just something so small, and it all of a sudden becomes so much more versatile.
I love it.
And even if this was a little bit longer, because like we said, it is supposed to be a bit longer, I think that would just make it even better.
Yeah. Added with its magical ability of being able to extend, which would increase the leverage and torque and power. This is like, seriously, one of the coolest fantasy weapons.
I agree. And I also love if it was able to expand, just even doing that, how that feels. Even with one that doesn't extend, it feels cool. So I'm a fan of this one, Chad. Yeah. This is Monkey Stick. I like.
Yeah, this is top tier weapon for its category.
Yes.
Like it is 10 out of 10 for me, right? It is interesting where I wonder, like, why didn't we see so much of it in history? And I think the main reason is that we kind of do, except they focused on one end.
Yes, that's why I said, like, I love this weapon, but when I compare it to other weapons in the same sort of category, just weapons with reach, right? Yeah. I think they're better, and any sort of adding on a blunt force thing, you do have a spare end. You can put it on the other end, and I think it'd be very similar.
Well, in the situations where this really shines is when you're fighting someone in armor, and the option is to use a really long club, which focuses everything on one end, and that's kind of all you need. You don't actually need
the second end.
And we don't see an exact kind of one-to-one thing like this, even though it is very cool and very functional.
That's the thing, and I know people are also going to comment it's supposed to be for self-defense more than offense, it's Buddhism, stuff like that. I get all of that, and I actually agree that as like a self-defense sort of thing, it's non-lethal is a charged word. I don't know if I could put it in that.
Well, this is very lethal now.
Yeah.
If you wanted a more non-lethal one, you wouldn't be adding these.
Well, this is the thing, right? Hitting in the chest or something like this, you're going to break ribs, but I don't think it's going to kill you. Hitting you in the head, sure.
I mean, in terms of non-lethal, meaning incapacitating opponent, one solid full power hit into the arm, break the arm, they're out of the fight.
Yes, but I'm
Even
saying,
the leg.
Yes, but comparing this to other sorts of weapons in the same category, spears, halberds and stuff like that, they are more you die type weapons.
Yeah, so I think this does have some non-lethal applications if you just don't aim for the vital areas. And because this would, like I said, take out limbs so effectively.
Yeah.
And then problem solved, you know? Then you have the reach benefit. This is beautiful. And I was going to say this is one of the few highly functional fantasy weapons we get to review, but I don't really consider this a fantasy weapon. This is an actual real weapon that I could see people using.
Well, this is the thing what I described this one. Remember how we're talking about bow staffs? Have you seen bow staffs before? Usually the training ones are basically just like this, but all wood. And then you have the ones that people do more for show, which are like really light and they swing around really quick. But they're not really weapons.
Yeah.
This is a weapon. This is a weapon that if you were to go against someone, you would mess them up.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Beautiful. Now, if you guys want to check out more of our content, right, why don't you check out this video where we recommend 5 very affordable but really good quality swords, okay? If you're on a budget and you only can spend so much, that video is already out, so you can check out that there. And also let us know in the comments what you think of, what is it called?
Jingubang.
Jingubang.
That's the name. I just call it monkey stick. Thanks for watching, guys. Video's here. Have a good one.
See you.